Welcome. Welcome to this session about emotional empowerment. And my name is Anett. I'm an empowerment coach and a transformational coach. And I designed this session for you to get some awareness about what it might be that might be blocking you or that might be in your way of actually living the life that you came here to live and really creating your life by design. In my practice, I found that quite often it's blocked, stuffed down, repressed emotions that keep us stuck, that keep us always hitting the same wall, that keep us not able to move forward, that keep us from connecting with the world around us the way we want to, that keep us from feeling our power and knowing how we create our reality, and that keep us disempowered. So this is why this session about emotional empowerment is designed for you to feel what it might be that might be holding you back from living your best life. And why emotions? Emotions are something that in our society are suppressed. Let's say that. So don't be angry, don't be sad. There are these words that we hear all of the time, and expressing our emotions and even feeling our emotions seems so dangerous in our societies. This is true especially for men too, who are not like shamed for, like man up, don't feel what's in there. But for women too, for women it's, they're too much. This is what we are being told. So our societies are not conducive for feeling our emotions, and this is actually something that really keeps us stuck, because what we do is we shove them down, and they are in our subconscious, and then we get triggered when something something comes up, and I ask yourself to think about your own life. What are your triggers? And this is usually shoved down emotions that are stuck in our subconscious. And so this session is designed to give you some awareness about what might be going on in your life, what you might not be able to see yet, but ready to release. And our emotions want to be felt. We declare some emotions as negative and we don't want to feel them, and others as positive, and we want to be there all of the time. A healthy way to feel emotions is to actually feel them when they arise, allow them to really flow through our system. Emotion, energy, emotion, it's energy that is flowing through our system, and then move on to, the next thing. I learned this when I was living with my sister. My little nephew was 2 or 3 years old, and he would throw a tantrum, and he was really, 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 really angry. But he was allowed to express his anger. My sister only said, "Well, yeah, you're angry." And he was kicking and screaming. And he was kicking and screaming for maybe 3, maximum 4 minutes. And the next moment he was like, back to being his happy child and playing. And I was like, whoa, what's that? And when we are adults, certain emotions can feel like they would overwhelm us because we have stuffed them down for so long. We were never allowed to express them, right? So it's not it's not really encouraged to express your anger throughout your life, but we can actually express our emotions in a healthy way and deal with our emotions. That's just something we've never learned. So in this session, I'm going to walk you through the map of empowerment, which is really connected with our emotions. It has been created by a brilliant man, Dr. David Hawkins. He was a professor at Berkeley in California, and he used muscle testing, this kinesiology, and he found out that different emotions have a different frequency and a different vibration. You can really feel like somebody has a low vibe and somebody has a high vibe, right? So that's really what it's all about. So different emotions, this energy that is an emotion, makes our bodies actually vibrate at a different rate. And scientists found out that when you really zoom into our cells in our body, and then you zoom even deeper and you zoom into the atom, and then you have like the nucleus, and you have the electron and the neutron, but it's only 1% mass. The rest, 99%, is vibrating energy, vibrating space. So you can see that when we're in a lower vibrating emotion, like, like sadness or depression, like when we are vibrating like this, we also say like we have, there's a low vibe. We really feel sluggish, and we go out and we see this world, and we don't see chances. We only see doom and gloom, because this is the filter that we have put on. Whereas when we're in love and we go out and we have these rose-colored glasses, we wear them, then suddenly, like the world looks amazing and the people are amazing and everything is amazing. Nothing can kill your vibe, so to speak, right? So, bottom line, we are meant to feel our emotions, but we have suppressed them for so long because this is what our societies have encouraged us to do. So that it can really feel overwhelming to feel our emotions. And we have never learned how to do that, and how to do that in a healthy way, and how to free our body from these stuck emotions that can actually, if they're stuck there for a long time, they can make us sick. People get a stomach ulcer when they are angry all of the time, right? So now I'm going to walk you through this map of empowerment, this map of consciousness, this map of emotions in different frequencies. It's a scale that Dr. David Hawkins has created. And while I do that, I invite you to close your eyes and to just listen inward. Take really deep breaths into your belly, into your heart. Because we're so encouraged to be in our head all of the time, thinking, that we don't even really breathe deeply into our bellies and into our hearts. And this keeps us from feeling. So the first thing I invite you to do is really take deep breaths into your belly, into your chest, and really fill yourself up with air, and even expand. And with the out breath, just let it all go. And I invite you to keep breathing really deeply into your belly, into your chest. Even maybe if you feel comfortable, close your eyes while I walk you through this map of empowerment. And as I said, it's a scale, so it goes from the bottom to the top. And Dr. David Hawkins found out that shame is actually the lowest vibrating emotion. So when you're in shame, you are in hiding. You don't want the world to see. You don't want to interact with the world. You feel unworthy, and you're actually, not feel like powerful at all, right? So that's the lowest vibrating emotion a human can feel. And right above shame, there's guilt. And guilt, many of us feel guilty. We have been made feeling guilty. And I say this because shame and guilt are actually two emotions that are not natural. No baby comes into this world feeling ashamed or guilty. These are learned emotions, and we all have them. And we all have been shamed and felt guilt. And this has, if we do not acknowledge when this happened and where this is coming from, and we don't allow ourselves to feel it and run it through our system and process out of our system, it will actually really keep us in these disempowered places where we want to hide, where we don't want to talk our truth or speak our truth, So just when I say this, feel into your system. Something might come up or not. Always just, notice what comes up. Quite often our intuition, our inner wisdom speaks to us with the first thing that pops into our minds, before we overanalyze things. Like the first thing is usually there's some wisdom in that. So I just encourage you to feel and to keep breathing into your bellies and into your chest. Above shame and guilt, there's apathy. And apathy is when we really feel like life is happening to us. There is nothing we can do. We feel like the victim of life. We feel like the outer circumstances have power over us. And we don't feel like our choices are creating our reality, but like we feel like there's always another blow, right? So to speak. So feel into that. Above apathy, a little bit more empowered or higher vibrating, but still like really low vibrating, is grief. And grief is not just when somebody we love dies. Grief is also like, I wish I would have done this. It's all these regrets that we have. There's actually a really brilliant book by a palliative nurse. Her name is Bronnie Ware, and she wrote the book, The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. And the number one regret was, I wish I would have lived a life that was true to me, not the life that others expected of me. And that's deep. That's deep. Many of us have regrets, and many of us have lived a life that, our parents expected of us, society expected of us, but what is really true to us? That's really, something to inquire and to grieve. Other cultures, they have, when one thing ends, there is a grieving process before something new can start. They have rites of passage. They have processes for transitions. We don't have that. So feel into that. Above grief, there's fear, and fear is rampant, right? I mean, just look around. This is, the world we live in right now. There's a lot of fear. Now, fear has, there's a reason for fear. So when our life is in actual danger, it's good to have cortisol and adrenaline flood our system so that we are ready to fight, flight, or freeze, right? That's really good. But what we do is we have our fears in our head. So we immediately go to the worst case scenario. What can go wrong? What can go wrong? And what this does is that there actually have been neural pathways in our brain created so that we don't even allow ourselves to think positive. We could also think, hey, what could go right? And some people do, these optimistic people. But if you always go to the worst case scenario, you always worry, you're always anxious. It's actually an indicator that fear has become wired into your brain, into your system. Now, there are ways to deprogram and reprogram that. And this is part of the work that I do. But allow yourself to notice whether you're always going to a worrisome thought, because what this also does, it's also very detrimental for your health, because when you're always in anxiety and always in fear, you're in a perpetual state of anxiety, and your brain cannot differentiate between an actual threat and something that is just imagined. So it will still, flood your system with cortisol and with adrenaline. And when your system is always flooded with these neurotransmitters, it's always in an alert state of alert, right? And this really wreaks havoc with our nervous system. And we cannot, we can actually not rest, digest, and rejuvenate our bodies anymore. And this will end up in us having, anxiety attacks, but also feeling fatigued. Our adrenal glands, they get fatigued. So yeah, this is what fear does to our system. Above fear, a little bit lighter, but still not really empowered, is desire. And desire is, you want something different, but you have no idea how to make it happen. And that's this more disempowered desire. So above desire, there's anger. And I actually like anger because anger is fuel, right? Where anger can be rocket fuel for change. You know that when you're angry, there's a lot of energy in your system. And, you can use this energy if you're not stuck in this place of being angry, because that can also be detrimental, but you can use it. And above anger, there's pride. And pride is, I'm going to show you, I'm going to make this happen. It's the last of the more disempowered states because it's also contracted. It's coming from a place of, I have to show you, I have to prove myself, not from a place of love, of, I want this, I desire this, and, I don't care what the outside world thinks. Desire still comes from, a pride still comes from a disempowered state because you need to prove something. Now, we switch into the more empowered states of emotion and consciousness, and they are not letting your system contract, you can imagine fear and shame, you really feel contracted. But these other states, they let you expand and actually see opportunities, and your energy is way more open and flowing, right? So the next one, and the first one of the more empowered emotions, is courage. And courage, yes, you might still feel fear and or pride or anger. You might still feel these lower emotions, but you're doing it anyway. And you're doing it because you know that you create your own reality, and you know that, life happens out of your comfort zone. So you're actually, you're actually going for what you want. That's courage. And you can feel there's a really different energy already to that. Above courage, there's neutrality. And neutrality is when you're actually trusting, your life. You're trusting that life works for you, and you trust that, you trust that things are as they should be. Above neutrality, there is a willingness, and willingness is really when you're more optimistic and when you have an intention to live your best life, and you actually make every choice according to that. You actually know that your choice matters, and with every choice you create your life. Your choice to drink that coffee or not, your choice to go on that date or not, your choice to work out or not, they all add up, and they all create a different outcome and a different life. So you're very empowered because you know that your choice matters. Above neutrality, or above willingness, there's acceptance. And acceptance is when you're actually able to forgive. You're able to forgive yourself, you're able to forgive others, you're able to forgive everyone for everything, because you can see that everything had its good and its reason, and you're actually in a state of an open heart, and you can see the bigger picture and zoom out. And that's actually above acceptance. There's a reason, and reason is when you really can see the bigger picture. You're able, even when you're in a challenging situation, to zoom out and to see why this is here, what this might be teaching you, and how this might be transforming you. Above reason, there's love. So, well, it's a really, really, empowered emotion, and it feels just really yummy. You got these rose-colored glasses on, but actually your life reflects back to you your elevated state of emotion and vibration. Above love, there's joy. And, we all love to be surrounded by people who are sincerely and authentically joyful and loving. Not this bypassing and this good vibes only, right? So this is not about that. That's about really authentically, being in this state. Above joy, there's unconditional love. It's when you really, don't put conditions on your love. Even people who might have disappointed you, you love them anyway. You don't love them because they're good or bad or anything. You just love for the sake of loving others and yourself. And above unconditional love, even more empowered, is peace. We love this state of, inner peace. And above that, there is what, Hawkins calls enlightenment. It's really this transcended Buddha, Jesus consciousness, where you're actually in a totally aligned, blissful state. So that being said, this was the map of consciousness, the map of emotions. And if you have felt into your body right now, I invite you to notice what you have noticed and to maybe write it down. And that's the first step of any transformation. The first step of any transformation is awareness, to bringing things from the subconscious to the conscious. So I'm pretty sure that you will have felt something. And this is something that is actually ready to be transformed by you. Now, this little mini workshop was designed to first give you a glimpse on what's going on and how do we resolve it. There are different techniques that we can use to actually really feel and heal our emotion in an empowered way. As I said, like with my little nephew, he was able to feel it and to allow it to flow through him. And then he would actually, just switch and it was gone. There was no big deal. But quite often we have stuffed it down for so long that we're so afraid of feeling our emotions. There are embodied practices where we go deep into the body, we release these emotions, we look at our traumas, our wounds from childhood, we work with our inner children, but we also work with the body, and we move these emotions. And you can see me moving because movement, sound, and breath are really great tools to move these stuck emotions out of your body without having to always go into all of the childhood trauma, right? So quite a lot of emotions, we have stuffed them down in childhood. So there are childhood traumas and woundings that we will look at in, the course that I invite you to do with me if you're willing and ready to transform, to let go of what's keeping you stuck, what's blocking you, and to actually let go of those murky, dense emotions and to step into your power, step into your creatorship, and really create the life that you want. We will, in this course that I'm talking about, it's a 10-week course. It's going to be live here in Berlin, if you're in Berlin. And we will go deep. We will use the chakras, the energy centers in our body, to actually work with our bodies and these chakras and to see what's stuck there, what's been blocking us, what's in our subconscious, what can we not see. The chakras are amazing to actually help us bring to light what is suppressed, what is stuck, and what keeps us from living the best life that we came here to live, and what keeps us from stepping fully into our power. And working with the chakras can help us to not only see that, but to also move that energy and shift that energy. So this is what we will be doing in a very beautiful container. 10 weeks. There will be 8 live classes. There will be a private Facebook group. There will be support from me. There will be group coaching. There will be embodiment practices. There will be ceremonial cacao, which is a beautiful heart opener. And once we come to the heart chakra is actually the Heart Math Institute has measured that the heart chakra is 5,000 times bigger than has an electromagnetic frequency field that is 5,000 times bigger than the one of the brain. So there's intelligence in our hearts, in our guts, in our bodies. This is what we will work with during these 10 weeks. There will be 8 live classes. There will be Facebook group coaching. There will be, as I said, ceremonial cacao to help us really open up our energetic fields, our heart chakra. There will be breath work. There will be tantric and Taoist energy practices. There will be sisterhood. There will be a container of 10 women and then me coming together and creating a sacred space for transformation to happen. And what I witness in these sacred circles when women come together, that it's really powerful because it amplifies the healing. And we notice that we're not alone. And this really helps shift things quickly. And this is my intention for this 10-week program that I'm inviting you to feel into your body if this is something for you. If you're ready to, in 2021, let go of these things that are bogging you down or that might be in your way, and to step into your power, to step into your light, to step into your creatorship, so that starting the end of this year, next year, you can move into a new year without that baggage and with your power. So I invite you to reach out to me if this is something that interests you. And we will have a conversation to see if you're a match for this program. If you're not in Berlin, feel free to reach out anyway. I do this work one-on-one, and I'm also planning on doing it eventually online further down the road. So if there's interest, I might do that. And for now, I thank you for listening. I thank you for inquiring. I thank you for being willing to go on this journey with me. If there are any questions, feel free to reach out. And if this beautiful 10-week offering is the right fit for you, then I look forward to seeing you in it. And I'm sending you all my love, unconditional love, and take it and go out into your day and create the life that you came here to live. Much love to you.